and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. So this video is a little bit of a downer, but just as a disclaimer, you guys know that I try to keep my channel very upbeat and we do not operate with fear on this channel. We don't do that. However, if you've been with me, you know that I believe in being informed and taking that information and instead of being afraid, using it to your advantage and being smart with that information. So I can only speak for my area, there are egg shortages. And I'm sure there might be where you live. I've seen a little bit of it on social media, but not all that much. I know for a fact that my mother went to a local Walmart and they did not have any eggs. And this was like in the last couple of days. But then she went to another grocery store and they did. And I think she said she got 30 eggs for $11. So my parents do have chickens, but because it's winter, the girls are not really laying. And when I say that, there's an egg every once in a while, but their chickens they're just not big on laying in the winter, and that's pretty common. There are ways to kind of encourage them to lay more, but I'm not in charge of the chickens, so I don't really know exactly what that is, but it's got something to do with more heating lamps or different things like that. But these chickens, you guys have seen the chickens. They are very well taken care of and very happy girls. They're just a little bit lazy in the winter, but again, that is pretty common when you have chickens at home. But the bird flu is, there's been a lot, I want to say in the last year or so, about like mass amounts of factory farm chickens being euthanized, whether they were meat chickens or egg chickens, because of the bird flu. And it can also spread to other animals that we eat. So there's also been some talk about beef being affected by that as well. And so just some information that I think that you guys should know. Don't take my word for it, do your own research. But I think that sometimes I'm just going to say it. There are kind of two camps of people. There are people that like watch the news way too much and it's a distraction and it's like they're unintentionally, I believe it's unintentionally trying to frighten themselves. Now there's a difference between watching the news and then being able to carry on with your life. But if you're watching the news and you're losing sleep on a regular basis, or you're just doing everything in fear and you're very reacting to everything, I can't think of the word because it's been a long day. Reactionary, I think it is. Thank you. Something along those lines. Then that's a problem because you're not making necessarily rational decisions, or you're just really hyping yourself up. But you're so paralyzed by the fear and all the crap that you aren't actually doing anything to alleviate that anxiety or to make it better for yourself. And there are some things we can't do. Like as who I am, just living where I am, I can't do anything about all the issues in my community, let alone across the country or across the world. And so you have to understand what you can and cannot change. Help me accept the things that I cannot change. And that's really important. And I feel like another camp of people is people that just kind of put their head in the sand and they know nothing about what's going on, or that's not going to affect me. And I do believe in positive affirmations. Like, I do believe in saying, like, we're going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. But I know what's going on. And so I don't want anybody to be blindsided. So I would suggest you want to be informed, guys. You want to know what's going on. You don't want to like go to the grocery store and be like, there's no eggs, there's no beef, what's going on? And you have zero idea that anything like that was going on. But at the same time, you don't want to hear information like this and spend $1,000 on eggs and beef. That's just going to go bad because you don't have the freezer or fridge space for it, and it might not be in your budget. And also, that's not really like, it's not reasonable. But I would say if you happen to see some eggs and you eat eggs, why not pick up an extra dozen and put them in your freezer? I have a video on how to freeze eggs. That's a good option. Maybe if it's in the budget, pick up a couple extra packs of chicken or beef or whatever. Another thing, I definitely, if there are shortages of any kind, and again, guys, I know for a fact there are some egg shortages. That's not fear mongering, that's actually happening. If and when there are shortages of something, because in the last 5 years, we've had all sorts of different situations where there either was legitimately a shortage, there was a threat of a shortage, there was gossip of shortages that weren't even real. Use that opportunity to really figure out what you and your family eat and use on a regular basis, and make sure you have a rotation of things going. And if you happen to see things that you genuinely use on a really good deal and it's in the budget, maybe get it. Do you know what I mean? And that's not because of the things that happened in the last 5 years. That's just a good practice to have. It definitely is. I know that when me and my partner go to Costco, there's a couple of things that we always pick up. We always pick up a case of water. We always, vinegar, things like that. And because that's where it's the best deal at. And it's just something good to do. And we don't go to Costco on a regular basis. So it's a good idea, instead of making multiple trips to Costco, just get what you want. But that's just a, little tidbit of that. So just, as always, guys, stay informed, do some research and figure out what's going to be best for you. But I don't want any of you guys to be afraid. I don't want any of you guys panic buying, And that was the other thing. So aside from routinely picking up the things that you need and really figuring out what your family uses and what your family does not use, it's a good opportunity. If you have not done it yet, I would definitely 100% suggest starting to cook maybe a little bit differently. Okay? I love beef. I'm just going to say, if I could have a filet mignon every day, or barely cooked ground beef, because I like rare. I like my beef rare, scary rare. That's how I like it. But it's honestly not in the budget. It's not good for you to eat that much beef, to be honest. But also it's never really been in the budget to do so. So as things progress with inflation and with these possible situations, it might not actually be in your guys' budget. Now, I'm not saying stop eating those things, but it might be a good idea to start trying to put in rotation other meal options that are a little bit more cost effective and that are maybe a little less inflation and shortage worrisome. And another suggestion too, guys, is it's really fun and it's a really great idea. And I would suggest doing it with your kids and significant other, whoever you live with and whoever you share meals with, to do some research in some Great Depression meals and meals that people ate during World War II, like on the home front, because there was rationing. So you couldn't go to the store and buy as many eggs as you want or buy as much sugar or coffee, those kinds of staple items. Everybody got these coupons, and that's what you got. And when you used it, you had to wait until the next ones came out. And so if you Google like Depression era foods or, you know, meals that they ate during wartime, you honestly, those meals are really good and they're very comforting. And you would be surprised how little of what we routinely eat that they actually had regular access to. And those meals slayed. They really did. There's one that I've been wanting to make for like 10 years and I've just never gotten around to it, a vinegar pie. But I believe the vinegar pie came out, I need to double check on this, but I want to say that it was like Pioneers, because they wouldn't necessarily have access to fresh fruit. So they implemented vinegar instead, and apparently it tastes like a lemon custard. So that's definitely on the list for me to make finally. But yes, just some suggestions, guys, and just kind of some things that I've been wanting to talk about. Okay, guys, so remember, do not be afraid, but stay informed. And if you think this is all a crock of crap, then at least hopefully I entertained. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you did not know, I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life of Mercedes. Until next time, guys, bye.